I've been thinking a lot about the things that shape me and the things that shape us. Maybe it's because I keep reading this book again. For context, I read this book in eighth grade, and if I'm being honest, I didn't actually read the book in eighth grade. I probably skipped around some parts of the chapters because in the book it tells you like you can skip around or you can read whatever chapters. Yeah. Then I heard this quote by this guy I met last night, and he said, "You wouldn't be the man you are today if you didn't lose certain people you love. You wouldn't be the man today if you didn't make certain decisions. You wouldn't be the man today if literally decisions. You can't see this, but the word says choice. Decisions. I think I've heard in my life that there's two greatest decisions you will ever make is following God and who you marry. But even then, there's so many decisions you make before you even do that. I mean, so many decisions. I'm a youth leader for these eighth grade boys. I lead this Bible study of these eighth grade boys, and I want to be the greatest, the best youth leader they've ever had. But in all honesty, I want to have an impact that allows them to have foundations to move forward. I think it's the responsibility of an adult. I think it's the responsibility of somebody who's older than you, or at least personally, to want the best for you, right? I think that if we've all gone through stuff, we shouldn't want people to go through the same suffering in its own way, right? If if I've gone through a mistake and I can get you to learn from it, I think it's my responsibility to help you learn from it, not let you go through those mistakes, right? Um, Random, but the average age a child is introduced into porn is, I think, 7 years old now. Horrible. The more I grow older, the more I see and hear that people do drugs. I remember in middle school, high school, we had those DARE programs, don't do drugs, and now it feels like none. It doesn't feel like, but as I have more conversations, the world is more open to these things that affect us, right? We want to change whenever we have that eureka moment. I want to change whenever I have that eureka moment, but I have learned to stop chasing those moments. I want to be passionate. I want to be ran by my feelings. I want to move whenever I have the greatest joy to do it. That is not sustainable and it will not work because then you'd be chasing that next high. In all honesty, chasing a high is in our nature. Whether you chase a high in drugs, whether you chase a high in feelings, we hop from one thing to another. We hop from one style to another. We're chasing all these things, trying to fill ourselves up. And that is a part of life in a way. But I think there's only one thing that fills us up, which is this. Life is a accumulation of decisions and choices. One small choice, several small choices is actually what makes the biggest decision, right? I heard a quote, if I wanted to break through a wall, would I tap at it on a singular point repeatedly, or would I punch around on different sides of the wall? Small repeated choices over time is actually what changes our lives. There are certain choices that I made that will lead me here, or that have led me here. Let me read this quote. I'm probably gonna quote it wrong because I can't really find it and I'm gonna be lazy. But Steve Jobs has this quote about you can't really put the pictures together whenever you're going forward. It's going backwards. Going backwards allows you to actually see the decisions and the choices you made, right? I'm 21 right now. I can't really confidently speak, but I can actually speak about things that have happened in the last couple of years, especially 8th grade, ninth grade, 10th grade. But yeah, especially 8th grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, maybe even, I think senior year was too close for me to even speak on that because that's the last 3 years. I can speak on things in the past. I remember as a little kid in Nigeria, I tried to grow an orange tree, but I was not patient, and I ripped the sapling out before it even took time to germinate. I'm learning that life is a journey of seeds that are being planted, choices that are being made that shape us and create for us to grow this bigger tree if we would let it, right? And even the idea of not even letting the tree grow is a choice. There's certain decisions that will lead you to destruction, and there's certain decisions that will lead you to another path, and there's certain decisions that will lead you another path. Life is full of so many paths. Even when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to making money, so many vehicles, financial vehicles, will take you to your goals. It's just finding the one that fits for you. Even picking a car to drive to X location. I have I had a Toyota Camry, right? I can have a Toyota Camry. I can have a Porsche 911. I can have a GTR. I can have a whatever Nissan Rogue. I can have a 1984 Corvette. I can have all these different things, but they'll take me to the destination at different times. By the end of the day, the timing it takes us there is just a little bit different, and that's what choices are. I think the greatest choice we make that we don't even know we make, it's the story of becoming. We're doing all these different things to become, and we don't know how becoming will even take us. My face is swollen, right? And it's because I have a ear infection. I think I literally had one last month. Crazy. Around this time too. And even then, like, the choice and how we go about how we feel whenever we don't look how we want to look, it's a different thing. I remember in 8th grade, I could probably find photos and post it. I don't know how to edit, nor do I care enough to edit, but 8th grade, how I look with my hair and all these different things, I was not confident with myself. So I cut off my hair so that I can go back and, I was like, okay, my hair was like this. I look good, I feel good, doesn't matter, right? As we become self-aware, it's learning to love ourselves. And that's the journey. That is really the journey. Whatever choices you make, at the end of the choices you make, I hope that you learn to love yourself. I met this really, really interesting dude last night. He was telling me, like, people say he would never do this, do that, do this, do that. And he's done all the things. He's fit some of the labels that they said he, would. But even then, he's done other things, right? People are going to put titles on you. People are going to put all these notions on you. But you have the ability and the power to make choices that change that notion. I genuinely don't know what the future holds. I think nobody does. But as a kid, you're more hopeful of, I'm still hopeful of the future. Like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to do this. I want to do that. But then as you grow older, at least me at the moment, it's like, all these things I wanted to be, the world is so big. I can be all of that, or I can be none of that, and I can be something else. I think that's the beauty of it. Yesterday, with the kids, I asked them, does anybody know what they want to be? As a man, career, whatever you want to say. And I use my skateboard as a talking skateboard. If you don't have the skateboard, don't talk, because they be yapping. But some people had answers, some people did not have answers. 2 kids said computer programmer, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Some kid said he wanted to be an actor. Some kid said he wanted to be a movie director. The future is so bright. So we have to make choices that help us align with what we're becoming. And as we're making those choices and we realize those things are not part of who we're becoming, it's okay. But I made sure that we gave a round of applause to everybody, even if you said anything, or if you said something or you didn't say anything. Life is a journey of becoming. Life is a journey of becoming. Maybe in a couple years from now, I will not say that life is a journey of becoming. But I think I will, because I don't know who I've became. Actually, you can look back in the past, right? Like, if I smoke weed and I do a bunch of drugs, eventually my choices would have led me to become druggy, is the right word? Someone who does drugs. But if I'm somebody who, bro, in Atomic Habits, he talks about so a man doeth, so a man is. If you want to become a reader, read more books. If you want to be a drug dealer, sell some drugs. Your habits are stuff that you do, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur is just someone who makes businesses, someone who has a business, sell stuff. You can repeatedly do things over time, and that's what you become. So it's just, you have to be careful about the things you do over time. But yeah, these are lots of rambles and points, but I think conversations are like that. personally, I don't think conversations should just stick with one topic, depending on obviously who you're talking to. I think that we're all interwoven and we have these mesh stories, and as we go, we're still figuring it out.